throughout my high school years, I heard that I was just another average student. Well, I had amazing grades in history, geography, and languages, but, and maybe you can relate to this, I was terrible at math, chemistry, and physics. I was really bad. So for not being a science expert, I was just considered ordinary and average. So one day, I was living my so-called ordinary life, walking around São Paulo in Brazil, which is actually the 9th most populated city in the entire world, just after Moscow in Russia. So now I want you to picture Times Square, okay? You add a couple thousands of cars, a couple dozen thousands of people, some street artists, banks, and then you have it, Avenida Paulista at broad daylight. I was there, walking by myself at 3 p.m. Birds were singing, the sun was shining, and skies were blue. It seemed like a perfect day to walk around. And you would think that this is a pretty safe place to walk around, right? Right? Yes. But actually, no. While I was walking, an older man approached me, and he started talking to me. He said, "You're so beautiful. Why don't you come home with me?" I paid no attention, hoping that he would leave me alone, but he didn't. And things got worse. He then started to touch my legs, my arms, my back. And in that moment, I felt like screaming, but I just couldn't. My throat was shut as if I had swallowed a stone. I felt ashamed. I felt disgusted. I felt terribly afraid. And I even dared to say that I was a little bit in denial that I was being harassed while everyone was watching. I remember during those 15 minutes, the only thing I can think about was, please, please, make this terrible man go away. And he did. He did go away. Now you might be thinking that I felt relief or calm when he left me. But no, I was angry. I was angry to the fact that I was being harassed while walking in my own home city. I was angry to the fact that I was being harassed while everyone was watching and no one tried to help. I was angry to the fact that I was being harassed in the economical capital of Latin America. Think Wall Street. So I went back home with my heart pounding in anger with those thoughts in my head, got home, and I started to watch a movie to try to calm down. I just couldn't. This thought kept on coming back. Why can't we as women have the basic right to walk safely on the streets? And then I had an idea. Why not develop an application that maps harassment on the street? This way, women will be able to speak up and raise awareness to other women where harassment is happening. And at the moment we know where harassment is happening, we will be able to prevent it. Piece of cake. All I had to do was to develop an application. Super easy. But the thing is, I have no idea how to develop an application. And I think this is the moment where most people would give up on a good idea. But I was too angry for that, so no way. So I sent a message to a couple of friends, an app developer and a designer. I told them my story and asked for their help. They said yes, so we started working. So every Wednesday we would meet up, but at one moment, reality hit. They told me they could only help me part-time and that for doing so, it would take 1 year until the app was ready. I was never really known for my patience. I couldn't wait 1 year. So I had to think about other things. And in that moment, I was almost graduating from high school. And my class was thinking about a prom trip to Cancun. Beaches, sun parties, a dream come true. But I knew I needed the money. So I went to my mom and I asked, "Mom," and she said, "What?" And I said, "Can I please use the Cancun money to pay for my app development?" She answered me with one single question. "Catharina, are you really sure you want to do this?" Well, long story short, I have never been to Cancun my whole life. I end up paying for my application with my prom money. So, Sai Pra Lá was finally ready. Yes, thanks God. And here's the idea. Sai Pra Lá is roughly translated to "leave me alone" in English. And it works as an anonymous platform where women can put the address of the streets they were harassed. I decided to split harassment in 4 different categories. The first one, most common, the catcalling. Second one, physical harassment. Third one, with sounds, whistles, and claps. And fourth one, exhibitionism. Now you might be thinking, okay, seems like a pretty cool idea, but what's the point? The point is, harassment is what I like to call invisible or ghost violence. We all know harassment is happening, but we don't know where. So how are we supposed to fight against the violence if it's literally invisible to our eyes? And this is where Sai Pra Lá comes in hand. For the first time, we were able to take something invisible and make it visible. And by making it visible, we knew the dangerous areas. And by knowing the dangerous areas, we could put more cameras, lights on the streets, panic buttons, police officers, everything so women can feel safer while walking on the streets. I want you to show you some images of the impact of Sepala in Brazil. This was the end of the first day. This was the end of the second day. And this was the end of the first week. Pretty shocking, right? So I kept thinking, why did this app become viral? I literally wrote one post and it became viral. Everyone was talking, sharing Sepala everywhere. Everyone was mapping harassment. And I researched it, and I discovered that in Brazil, 86% of women were or will be harassed at least once during their lifetimes. 86%. Now you might be thinking, okay, but this only happens in Brazil, not in my country. Sorry to tell you, it happens everywhere, in every country, in every continent, everywhere. So here right now, I want to propose something. I will ask you a question, and I please ask you to be honest, okay? Raise your hands if you have ever been harassed before while walking on the streets, or if you know someone who has. Can we have a show of hands? Literally what I thought. Everyone raise their hands. We have a serious issue here. Women don't feel secure while walking on the streets. So my question is, why aren't we all doing something about it? I was 16 when I developed the app, and I was 17 when I launched it. This idea can totally change the way we map, understand, and prevent violence, not only towards women, but also other minorities. This can help with child abuse, LGBT phobia, racism, among other types of discrimination. This can make the world a safer place. But the thing was, my app crashed in Brazil. It stopped working. So I tried to reach out for brands in order to find some financial support. And I mean, we would all think that I would get at least some. I was talking in national television. I was giving lectures in prominent institutions. Everyone knew about this app, but no brand came through. All saw the beauty of the idea of this app, but they thought this might be too difficult of an issue to deal with. And I guess they had a point. Because what can you do when you set out to trace the most dangerous areas, and then you discover that every area is dangerous? Where do you even start? They gave up, but I didn't. I always tell myself that a good idea has 2 steps. The first one is when you have the idea, you bite the bullet and you just go for it. Now, the second step is when you take a deep breath, you take 2 steps back, and you analyze what's going on around you. Well, when Sepala crashed, I reached my second step. I took a deep breath, and I understood that I was dealing with something bigger than myself. I understood that what I could do as a teenager who really wanted to help, but didn't have the means to, was to study more. It was to study more about public speaking, more about geography, more about history, and even more about maths. I understood that I had to become an expert of gender harassment, violence against women. I had to start learning more. This is what I'm currently doing, working every day to improve my initial idea. And this time, do something not out of a gut feeling, but actually plan it. So with this, I have 2 final things to say, and I really want you to pay attention. The first thing is keep it simple. I know sometimes it can be pretty scary to see what other people are doing there. Some are creating robots that can speak, and others are finding cure for diseases. Wow. And we start thinking, am I ever going to be that person who's going to create something amazing? And my answer is yes. There's so many things out there that weren't discovered yet. Yes, some are more complex than others, but I am 100% sure that if you think, and you think again, and you rethink it, and you think once more, you'll be able to find a simple solution for a complex matter. Now, the last thing I want to tell you, and I really want you to pay attention, is I personally know how it feels to hear you're no one and you're never going to be someone in life. So this is for you, the student who heard you're just average, you who heard before that you're just another ordinary person. Many times people don't have the courage to follow their own dreams, so they try to stop you from pursuing yours. If you have an idea, just go for it. Make it happen. Because you, the so-called average student, you, the so-called ordinary person, you can and you will make a positive change in the world. Make yourself be heard. Speak up. I believe in you. Thank you so much.